And good
Thank you.
morning to all our guests today, and hope you will enjoy this presentation.
Good day, everybody, and thank you for joining. Uh, we are going to share with you the project's activity within Rivulis, and uh, and just before that, maybe we go through a brief presentation about the company. Who is Rivulis? So first of all, Rivulis is let's say is a combination or is an acquisition of four old companies in this industry. Is called about is a Plastro, uh, T-System, Rodrips, and lately Eurodrip. So these companies are a history of more than 50 years in this business, with, of course, extensive lines of irrigation solutions and also a project activities in all over the world. In terms of market, is the second since 2 years ago, let's say, is the second companies in this business for drip solution, or let's say low volume irrigation solutions. The company is 2,200 employees, 16 factories around the world, and we, as a model, also we work massively with partners, with distributors all over the world. And what we are doing and what we are manufacturing is all components of low volume irrigation. Of course, we are not manufacturing all components. If we talk about pumps, we don't distribute pump, but we provide pumps when we do project activities, or when we design projects and we deliver pumps. We are not manufacturing also large pipes as far we provide them locally from local suppliers, or also from our location basis, but we manufacture all what comes outside, let's say, pumps and pipe, and this from filtration to the drip lines or drip tape, and we will go later in the details of, let's say, all what we call distribution water products, which can be very various, from tape to drip lines or to PC drip line, and also installed in different ways. Can be on surface or on Ssdi. The solution of projects also, or what we are manufacturing, are addressing or is addressed to all what we call row crops, and this starts from orchards to vegetables, and also I can add in this list most of, let's say, or crop like alfalfa, which is more and more representing a big parts of projects, or simply of drip activities in Ssdi. Of course, also we do projects, or we have products adapted for corn and for sophisticated greenhouse or glass greenhouses in intensive agriculture. Of course, I will try to go fast, not go in details and in some slides, but please, you will not hesitate, I guess, to ask a question at the end of the presentation for any detailed point concerning a specific slide. As we said, we provide the full end design to harvest services. Of course, we are not providing harvest, but we are providing technical support or supervision, how to conduct the drip irrigation, or how to conduct, let's say, irrigation schedules, or the maintenance of the material during all the period of crop, or even after. So we start, of course, from the design. We will talk about the process, the process of the design. It starts from collecting data and a lot of small details, or knowing, let's say, the field, presenting solutions also, which is uh, which is discussed and shared with the end user uh, or the customer. The in-field training is a part, and the support, of course. Uh, we can add, and more. We are involved in what we call controlling the irrigation remotely. Of course, we have different let's say, uh, solutions, and what Rivulis is offering is Mana Irrigation is a part of our group. In fact, it's the fifth company of Rivulis, and Mana Irrigation is providing, let's say, dynamic irrigation recommendation through satellites, or through cloud industry, or technology, sorry, to manage the irrigation, or to manage how to conduct irrigation during a crop cycle. Uh, Project design and planning. So we have, let's say, or we design over 60,000 hectares. Of course, we design also for our partner, for our distributors, in most of the case, and we do direct turnkey projects. It concerns projects from 0.1 hectares, and I'm talking about gravity systems for some countries, or even sometimes less, to mainly, this is our business, to over 500, 1,000 hectares. We have projects until, we do projects until 10,000, 20,000 hectares in some area, mainly in sugarcane or other industrial crop. Of course, the design is done with exchange of information to our partner or to our team, simply located in most of the countries, and working with our design centers. I missed here one. We have 6 in a total. So we have in South America, in Europe, in Israel, in India, and in Australia, with thousands of designers close to our partners, or simply close to our, let's say, to our customers. In addition, we have what we call irrigation solution managers and agronomists also close to us, check solution with our partners and our or the end users. So this required, yes, to go through a successful turnkey, it is requiring agronomists, hydraulic engineering, products managers, and of course, in some cases, I'm not saying all here, we provide finance, and this also involve insurance and banking expertise in some complex projects, or projects, some large ones, which is requiring financing from a year to 5 years in some area, or in some governmental projects. Then on-field technical support and training, we are one of the few, or even the largest company with a very strong footprint or presence in the field. Our people are local based in many countries, not all, of course, but in most of the country where we are doing business. And of course, most of them, they provide the support and training. And of course, we also have in our centers experts who train and jump to the field for sporadic training, for after-sales service when it is needed. About softwares, we'll not go in details here. We work with two, WCAD and Irricad. These are the most professional softwares used worldwide. And of course, it's the latest one. It's very well integrated to make, let's say, specific designs for some materials like filtration, or how to manage, let's say, the installation with the Ssdi. How it is presented. First, we need the mapping and or 3D mapping, or map with the slopes. Then we will go to a detailed course. This step is it comes at the end, after exchanging with the end user, exchanging also or having climate data, soil characteristic, everything, let's say, that can affect or impact the irrigation, and also the management of irrigation to supply or to provide the needs of the plants. If we take this map, for example, we have the hydraulic design with pipe dimension, everything. On the right, we have all the details of, not all the details, but the materials or details of the needs of or the water requirement, how to manage globally the irrigation, and another map to detail the crop or the irrigation management all over the field by managing irrigation per sectors or per block. At last, I give here an example is when we have filtration station, or at each head of the block or sectors, we provide all the details of all components that are going to be used in let's say in the projects. So this, of course, this step helps in general to at the level or at the stage of the installation with the supervisor, or with simply also our team during the installation. I talk about finance. We go through very fast. It's simply a kind, or let's say, it's a finance used with a collaboration with insurance company. Means that once we have the approval of the insurance company, based, of course, of financial reports, description of the project, and of course the pro forma invoice. This is discussed with insurance company. Insurance, once they approve, then comes the latest stage, which is negotiating with the banking. So negotiating with the banking is the easiest step, in fact, and the most complex is how to manage to get an approved amount by the insurance company. And the key here is the collaboration or the support of the end user or the customer or the payer. Means providing the right documents, having sustainable activity, a good project, and with some, let's say, visibility for the insurance to be able to provide a coverage or an amount to be covered that can be very easy than to negotiate with banks. And banks here, we try to negotiate, to check with 2 or 3 banks, and of course the three let's say a solution are offered to the customer, or we can select sometimes just one, because it's the only way. All banks cannot work in all countries, and sometimes we will go just with one bank because this is the only way that we can have in a specific area or in a specific country. Project management solutions. Let's say, of course, it's as I said before. Technically, we start from the pumps. Let's say, from the top. Of course, in the design, the pumps come at the end, maybe, or most of the time. But yeah, if we talk about a drip or low flow system, because when I say drip irrigation here, I would like to add also micro sprinklers, or this is why we prefer saying sometimes the LVI, low volume irrigation. Here, so we start, let's say, we have the designed pumps, then we go with the filtration, valve, of course, and water distribution. Water distribution means can include the manifold, but then come to the drip or to micro sprinklers, which is the latest stage of of a project or any other installation in low volume irrigation. So the heat station or the filtration, I will not talk about pumps. As I said, pumps is the latest components that are defined or can be defined from the beginning based on the water availability, which is, let's say, it can be fixed simply by a flow or the capacity of a well or a forage. But if you go directly to the filtration, it's the most important part will be decided or will be defined by mainly by the pump's capacity, or simply also defined, which is the most important, based on water quality. It can be mineral, or if it contains organic or any other materials that must impact the cost or the quality of the filtration. As an example, if you have surface water, for example, or canal, it's more recommended to use media plus screen. Sometimes, in some other case, we have what we call the primary filtration or in the heat station, and we will add a secondary filtration at the feed. But again, it's depending. It is depending the water quality, what technique we are going to use in, if it is Ssdi or not, and what is also the kind of maintenance that we are going to provide. And of course, the budget is it is one of the key elements. Sometimes, yes, the budget can limit some solutions, and at the end of the day, it must be dealt by what is the cheapest solution that requires maintenance, of course, but it's maintain a sustainable water quality for drip irrigation to allow or to avoid the clogging. Fatty irrigation system, it is the second part, depending of the crop, depending of the value of the crop, depending of the system also, or the technique used for crop greenhouses or not. And it start from manual or Venturi, and it end also with the big fertigation machine, sophisticated machine we use for greenhouse or for a high value crop to provide precise fertigation. And of course, we can combine both with fertigation and irrigation, which can make everything automatic through, let's say, or assembled, located in one heat station. Valves, the third component, coming just before the manifold, or before, let's say, the block, irrigation block. We have different kind of valves that must be used in the field, depending the design, depending the constraint that we can face. Of course, we talk about pressure reducing, pressure sustaining valves, or just simply on-off valves. And to add to that, in some, let's say, cheap market, which is not the best solution that we recommend, we can also have simply manual valves, simple valves, like, let's say, ball valves, or just simply basic plastic valves. Drip tape or drip line, the latest component of the, let's say, of a project, of irrigation project. Of course, I not talking here about sprinkler or micro sprinkler, but it can be the same when we have what we talk about the distribution. And how to use them, or the choice of the drip lines, is depending of too many factors. We will not go on details here, but just to give an idea, of course, most of the system can work for most of the crops, but as an example, we can use tape. Technically, we can use tape on orchards, for example, if you want, but economically it's not sustainable. Means that the technical solution must fit with the economical and financial solution to make the investment sustainable and to have the right return of investment for each crop. Let's say if we talk about vegetables, we are willing to use more the drip tape as far as far at the end of the season we can remove and recycle the tape and avoid the retrieval of the hard drip lines, for example, put it again with another in another surface, which is cost at the end of the day more than the cost of the drip lines during the season. Means that for every crop or every technique of cropping, we will adapt a kind of let's say of the distribution water material or what kind of drip line or drip tape we are going to use. Just for information, in drip lines, which is one of our core business, we manufacture T-tape, Pro-drip, Euro-drip, Aeolus, and other, let's say, technology. We cover all technology in tapes or in what we call thin drip lines with the molded dripper. Then for in PC also we have multiple technologies that we use depending sometimes of the proximity of the factories or simply the technology required into the field or for some specific crop or some specific flows that we need to adapt to a certain soil. As SDI, we can adapt most of the product. Of course, some products are more adapted to SSDI than others, but it is also a part of solution that we are using or we are proposing or we are doing in our solutions for projects. At the end, the drip kit is an important part also. Is for small, very small growers and not using a pressure, not using a pumps. We have drip kit starting from 100 square meters to half hectares. Of course, from half hectares, we do also kit, but this kit are requiring a minimum pressure, means it's requiring 0.4 bar to 0.45 bar. It can be with gravity or it can be with small or with solar pumps that we are offering in some markets. As I said, depending on the kind of drip lines, let's say, depending on the crops, we have different products for orchards or for what we call permanent crop, but also for crops like alfalfa, for example, more and more, we use SSDI drip lines in such kind of crops. Of course, as I told, we can also have a tape, for example, in this kind of crop, but it's not sustainable economically. We will not remove the tape every end of the season or every year from the field when it comes to orchards. So we would prefer to have permanent system, sometimes in buried, what we call SSDI, than having tin products. And in this kind of products, we have a big range of specification. I didn't talk about that. Micro sprayers, what we call micro sprinklers, mini sprinklers. We do that. We are large manufacturers. Then we can be used, designed for irrigation. It is used also under the canopy or over the canopy anti-frog system. Is depending the use. It can be combined also with drip irrigation or tape for some greenhouses or for some specific crop to against, let's say, what we call the anti-frost system in some crops like orchards, like some kind of orchards like avocado, for example, or other orchards. Greenhouses, yes, it's a part of the big business. It's one of our core business. And here we're talking about projects for um, glass greenhouses or soilless greenhouses or for nurseries. And also we cover the channels or greenhouses like channel that we call basic greenhouses with different products, with different online drippers, and also with assembled solutions, means assembled including the online drippers, the pegs, and microtubes offered and stored down in the farm or in the projects at the end. And this is a part of the distribution, let's say, water solution um, in a in a project. Water space systems. Here we talk about Focus is also part of solution, mainly or it's combined with irrigation system. Here we are controlling mainly the humidity. And then the other part of the turnkey project or projects in general is logistic and purchasing. It is also one of our strengths. So our company here there is not 15 factories anymore. It's 16 factories covering most continents or all continents, by the way, and also with some distribution centers close to the company or close to the countries. And of course, it makes the delivery, it makes uh, the supply easy to manage from the logistic point of view with the fast deliveries. And of course, again here, I'm not saying that we all factories manufactures all product, no, but we have stock in our factories from of products from other factories located overworld. As far most of our factories are specialized in to assume they or to ensure the quality are specialized in specific products. So here, yes, we in most of factory we have different products, several products, and of course agreement with some partners like for pumps, pipes to deliver as faster as possible from our locations. To this, just I want to add that, of course, we in this figure, in project figure, we use also the facility of our partner and distributors. They have stock. We have more than 3,000 distributors worldwide with they are very professional and specialized and also uh, provide components or assistant or also can provide in some case supervision in our turnkey project. And the idea here is to be close to the end users, which is the most important for our success of projects. Installation can be direct managed by us, but we provide the supervision, but generally we subcontract also with the, let's say, the installation, but the supervision we do it by ourselves. And this is mainly also organized uh, with our uh, with our partners, with our distributors, or with our team also located locally. So yes, mainly we installation we is around turn around the supervision. Uh, and this is sometimes can also start from the mapping with also our team that can do that to the supervision of the installation uh, and also the support, the after sales support after the installation also is done by our team, and we can also have an agreement with the local partners to supervise, to continue to supervise, to train, to manage the after sales service locally if it is needed. Uh, Installation of drip or retrieval when it comes to tape, for example, at the end of the season. We provide training. We provide also materials or machines for installation. We are not manufacturing. We have specialized professional companies doing that. So we work with them in general in this step is in large projects, end user provide this kind of materials, has already this kind of materials, and what we do sometimes is just kind of supervisions or adjustment of materials based or depending the products we are providing. Means that if it is tape or drip lines, sometimes it is requiring some adjustments, and we, of course, we handle this with our customers, and we, in the worst case, we also provide adapted installation machine and also retrieval machine and retrieval equipment, which is also important. We are not leaving the product in the soil. We don't want our partner, our growers, leaving plastic and drip lines at the end of the season in the soil. So retrieving can be manual, of course, when it comes to small surface, but must be mechanical when it comes to large surface. And here we recommend some suppliers, or we supply also this kind of materials. Training, management, maintenance. As said before, we provide maintenance. We provide how to manage irrigation based on crop, which is very important. It's very good, I think, to have a sustainable irrigation system, but it's better when we know how to optimize it, how to. So the target is not to over irrigate, or the target is simply to provide the right quantity of water at the right moment to the right uh, into the right period of the crop, and it's not easy in some cases, and of course because it cannot be generalized. It's not something, well, let's say, must be customized, must be customized based on the field, based on the soil, based on crop, and part of managing this side is the subject that we talk about is mana irrigation system, which is managing irrigation by satellite, and we also base it on the database. It's not only satellite, it's also soil, it's also a lot of things, but use the term of satellite is simply because we have a picture of your field every 2 days, and this provide a rough idea and but precise to how your field is looking, where you can have bottlenecks, when you can have issue in the field, or when also you are over irrigating in your area or in your part of your farm. And it's a tool that we use. It's a tool that also we can offer with some, let's say, with in a new project for a few months, for example, to just to see, to check, to understand how it works, and it's very successful. It's very successful in terms of irrigation management. Means that in 100 hectare, 200 hectares field, it's it's very easy, and it's very powerful to have a full pictures, a full, let's say, analysis on the field to manage in most efficient way, let's say, or to adapt, to optimize the irrigation management in the farm. And when we talk about irrigation management and optimizing, it's not only water, it's only fertilizer, and it's also energy saving. And generally now, when we talk about selling a project or selling irrigation project, we talk about selling also at the cost or reducing the cost of energy, including fertilizers. We go fast in some projects, yes. Alpha cotton in USA. We did some big ones, and more and more in alpha now, and like in Australia also a lot of projects that we have in alpha. We start to do also in alpha projects in Africa. Ssdi, of course, SSDI, mainly we use drip lines, PC drip lines, anti-siphon in Ssdi, but also tapes is used in Ssdi mainly for sugarcane or also for some row crops for 1 or 2 seasons. The T5000 here PC used in berries, blueberries, blackberries. Of course, we can have also a non-PC when conditions are okay, but it's a kind of an example, and this project was done in Mexico 2 years ago. Corn, we talk about corn, project in corn. In some countries, some areas, more profitable to have, let's say, projects for, let's say, in corn, but for grain or for, let's say, for what we call for seeds. But other area also they use massively drip irrigation or drip tape for silage. Using corn for silage is very economically very interesting, and it's a growing activity in many area and many countries. Here it was a project with Monsanto with the G5, also in corn seeds. We work with them in North America and also in Europe. Vegetables, I will not go in details here, but again here, when we talk about low volume irrigation project, we also talk about saving electricity, saving cost of energy, and it is, of course, it is very important. Depending the country, of course, but most of the countries, energy it's a big issue, and providing a solution which provide less quantity of water, or let's say the most optimized quantity of water with low cost of energy, is at the end of the day is a profitable investment. So thank you, and of course please don't hesitate if you have a question. We are here, and all the team here is to answer, or if you have any specific request, please don't hesitate. Thank you again, and hope see you.
Thank you very much. It was very interesting.
Thanks. So maybe, where is Paul? He's not with us, no? Correct?
He's collecting the questions.
Which software we use in the 3D modeling?
I will let Eyal reply into that.
We are using Solid 3D to create model.
Yeah. Thank you, Eyal.
The person who joined the presentation was the next speaker. There was some overlapping on the room, on the conference room.
Yeah.
Muhammad, is the answer about the automatic disk filter was suitable?
Muhammad, there is a question regarding solutions for fertigation.
Okay. If someone want to reply to that, Ilan or Yasin, about talk about the fertigation kit. So just to summarize, let's say we have basic solutions like Venturi, and then I think the question is about the ferti kit, correct?
Someone wrote, what are our solutions for fertigation?
Ilan or Yasin?
So for fertigation, we have many solutions. So we have the system Venturi, and we have also hydraulic pumps and boosters. It's electrical pumps. And now we have grid machines with controller, so it can control with more precision the fertilizers and also control the acidity and the salinity. And this controller can control the opening and closing the valves and the pumps following many programs.
Yeah.
So it's a solution to get great precision, accurate, to get the fertilizer and that the plants will be can suck easily the fertilizer, because as you know there are many factors to respect in this well that the plant can suck easily the fertilizer. So this machine help the plant to be more efficient and grow good, very good, with a low price. I think that there is a question also regarding the controller. Fuad, I think the visitor Fuad is asking that the controller will be the future. Of course, I agree with you that the controller are very important, and it's important part of the projects now, and also it will be in the future. Rivulis it's aware of this problem, and now we have our brand controller for small controller to manage the small area, and the big controller it's Ssdi 4100 to control big area. It can manage the system with cable and system with radio and mono cable. And also we have the controller to control the climate. And Rivulis is also aware that to pilot irrigation, it's very important. And now we have mana irrigation, so it helps the grower to pilot perfectly the system of irrigation.
Yes. Thank you.
I think that the general motive of Rivulis in the previous years is to create integral platform for the grower, that he will have one-stop shop in Rivulis to combine all advantage technology into one solution. Of course, it's ending with the drip lines or the sprinkler, but it's starting from the survey, from the mana, and for the recommendation of the irrigation, filtration, fertigation, and so on. It's less important if we will be the one that will produce or will have our own brand, but definitely it will have our 100% warranty as a one platform or one solution for the most advantage irrigation solution.
There is a request. Does Rivulis has a detailed manuals for controllers? Yes, we have. Fuad, if you can email Igor, and you see the email in the list, so you will get all the documentation. There is another question from Elasio Galdi. Can you show us in a faster way software designed for irrigation system? Again, Alessio, please send us your email and we will make you a nice presentation. It's impossible to do it now during this webinar, but we will be happy to assist you. There is a question from Space. Are there any boundaries for uneven terrain for Ssdi in terms of maximum height in the topography? If I understand you right, so you are asking if we can irrigate SSDI in slopes, and so actually what we need to keep in SSDI, as in surface irrigation, that the pressure will be in the limits of our product portfolio. And for sure, we make sure that the system will have even water distribution. So, and there are some other restrictions as well.
Yes, Ilan, you have asked me about disk filtration solution. Talk about.
You saw my comments. It's.
No, it's so. I didn't see the latest comments.
I think that we are in a good position.
Yeah, yeah. I need to talk with Yasin, yeah, and Khalid. Thank you. I thought about Kenya.
There is another question from Fuad and Michele regarding the fertigation. Any regulatory aspects to take into account for managed fertigation system? So if I understand you right, you want to do the fertigation by radio. So actually, one of our system is can communicate by radio. By its no need any how do you call it? You don't need any license. It's a license-free radio. So and it depends in the controller itself, but we have also a solution for a license-free radio system. Muhammad, I don't see that there are any other questions. So
yeah. Can you explain how do you see the question and we are not able to see the question?
No, I enter as a visitor as well.
So a visitor see the internal issues and
the visitors, if I understood well, can interact easily between them.
So maybe you are and you are taking care of everything, and we are just actors.
Maybe Iyal, you are Fuad.
What?
You are Fuad. You ask about the question.
That's my nickname.
In our case, it was a pleasure to share all this and also to speak with you guys.
There is a question from Matilda.
Well, yes, Mohammed, there is a okay. Mohammed, I think that there is another question. It's for you. So, how do you measure the drip irrigation impacts on the environment? Do you approach the problematics of changing global ecosystem by changing the desert areas?
First, what is the impact of? We have only 3 minutes, let's say, but this is subjective point. It's not objective. Drip irrigation, let's say, in all case, all the surface that nourish the field, let's say that provide the food to the world is irrigated, and the question is how to irrigate all this field. We personally, I believe, and I think most of the specialists, that drip irrigation is simply contribute to reduce the use of water and the use of fertilizer and also the use of mechanical, let's say, work of the soil. So it avoid erosion comparatively to other technology or other irrigation system like flood irrigation, or normal sprinklers, so drip maintain the structure of the soil. Then drip maintain also or reduce significantly the use of water. But this doesn't mean that also it will reduce desert area. If you don't have water, you don't have water. You cannot use drip line or you cannot use any kind of irrigation. So it's just a matter of comparatively to the water we're using for having 1 kilogram of potato, we will use only 70% or 60% of the water. This water used when you have different system of irrigation than the drip lines or than drip irrigation. So yeah, so this is, I think, is the most objective from my perspective impacts on the environment when we use low volume irrigation. Of course, we can talk about recycling, we can talk about energy, but it will remain subjective, and not subjective, but depending case by case on, let's say, in some areas.
Okay, Mohammed, I have some. Okay,
Yeah.
I have something to add also regarding that.
You have 1 minute.
Okay, 1 minute.
But
so
between us, we can
if
continue.
we compare, just if we compare the system of irrigation with flooding and drip irrigation, we can see that flooding system pollutes the environment. And also, if we take, for example, the rice, so with flooding system, we find a lot of poison like arsenic in the rice. But with drip irrigation, it's safe. And also with drip irrigation, we reduce the emission of dioxide carbon. So it was an example regarding rice.
Thank you, clear. It's 10 o'clock. So if we understood well, at 10 o'clock they will stop.
No, Mohammed, I think that there is 9 or 8 minutes. It left 8 minutes. Look at leave.
Time for a cigarette.
Yeah,
No,
I don't see any other questions. So if someone has a question, he has an email of Matilda of marketing. So please forward this question to Matilda.
Goodbye, everyone, and thanks for watching.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks all. Pleasure.